guys, we're here once again on a Friday morning, and today I have Matt Andrew here with me, and we're going to talk about the latest release for Parkzone this time.
Yep, absolutely.
And this is called the Parkzone Conscendo Advanced.
Yep.
And that part is very important, right?
Exactly.
Can you tell us a little bit? We used to have a Conscendo a couple years ago in Hobby Zone.
Yeah,
yes. But now we brought it back in Parkzone. Why and what are the changes?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Hobby Zone Conscendo S was basically available in 2 completion levels. It was a full-on, ready-to-fly transmitter, everything you need, as well as a full bind and fly, which included a charger and a battery. The original Hobby Zone Conscendo ran on a 2S 1300 battery. Had an 18-amp controller in it. Was a great flying airplane. Everybody who had it really loved it, and trained a lot of people how to fly, so that's always good.
Right.
But we wanted to go ahead and give this airplane a little bit more performance because so many people liked it, and it was such a great flying airplane. We wanted to give it a little bit more performance. So the first thing we did is we reinforced the fuselage a little bit, so we added some additional reinforcement inside the 2 fuselage halves there. We also went with a thicker wing tube, so it's got a little bit larger wall diameter, so it's a little bit more robust for aerobatics and stuff like that. And the biggest change over this one is it's now a 3S airplane instead of 2S.
Okay.
We changed the speed control from the 18-amp to the 30-amp.
Right.
So now you can run it on like a 3S 1300 and it gets really good performance, almost straight up vertical performance. Not quite, but I mean it gets to altitude in a hurry, and you can cut the power, let the prop fold, and have some soaring fun or do some aerobatics or whatever you want to do with it.
So we changed. What do you change? Is the motor the same or is it different?
The motor's the same size, but a different KV to allow us to run on 3S and keep under the 30-amp limit, keep everything running nice and cool for you.
Right, cool. So we recommend 3S battery. What size? Is it 1300?
1300, you know, like a 1250, even up to an 1800 3-cell will fit in there. So you got some options in terms of battery range for this airplane.
Okay. This being a Parkzone model, moving it from Hobby Zone, so I guess it's not really a beginner airplane. Who do you think will enjoy this aircraft?
I mean, basically it'd be great for anybody from a second airplane, you know, after you've learned to fly in the Hobby Zone, if you move up to something like this, to experience soaring guys, and for people who just want a nice, simple, easy flying, fun airplane. Cool. So it's pretty much for everybody. I mean, the great thing about airplanes like this is because it's a sailplane kind of layout, you don't have landing gear sticking down. It's really easy hand launch, belly land. With the wing off, it's a 2-piece wing, so it breaks down pretty small. And the greatest thing about sailplanes, motor gliders, is because they're pretty skinny, you can take the wings off and it folds up in a very, very small area. I mean, I have a bunch of gliders basically tucked behind the door in my basement because you can stack them vertically and fit a lot of airplanes. So again, this airplane doesn't take up a lot of space to transport to the field or to your local park and have a ball with it.
So it comes with the bind and fly basic?
Bind and fly basic and plug and play.
Plug and play.
Yeah.
Okay. So for the bind and fly basic, what radio do you recommend? Now, I know some gliders have spoilers and flaps and kind of full house. Well, how many channels do we need here?
This airplane is a basic 4-channel airplane. However, to utilize the Safe Select in the bind and fly basic version, you will need a 5-channel transmitter because you need that extra channel to control safe.
Okay.
For the plug and play version, any 4-channel receiver and transmitter will work.
So it's something like an AR-6210, I think is the number we have.
Yeah, even the AR-400 would be a great receiver for this airplane, inexpensive and will work well.
Cool. So you mentioned Safe Select.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit what it is and what it does for the pilot?
Absolutely. So depending on how you bind the airplane, if you bind it kind of the traditional way where you put in the bind plug, power up the airplane, bind it through your transmitter, and pull the bind plug when you're done, you basically just have AS3X.
Okay.
If you pull the bind plug before you actually bind your transmitter to the airplane, you'll get Safe Select activated. Once Safe Select is activated, you can actually assign it to a switch to be able to turn it on and off. Basically put the sticks in the bottom inside corners, toggle whatever switch you want 5 times, just make sure the rates are set at 100% so it's seeing the full throw of that channel, and that assigns the Safe Select to that switch so you can turn it on and off and fly.
Awesome. So I guess the thing here is you don't have to have it on if you don't want it.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
it's
totally up to you how you set up the airplane in terms of if you want it even active or if you want to be able to turn it on and off in flight.
So talk a little bit about the performance, compare this one versus the Hobby Zone. So you can do rolls, loops.
Oh, absolutely. Kind of yeah, it's a pretty aerobatic sailplane, believe it or not. It's got pretty large ailerons. Good control authority. I mean, you can do point rolls, inverted flight. Can't really snap or spin a sailplane. They just don't like that. But basic aerobatics all day long. Awesome. One of my favorite things to do, and you'll see it in the video, is I went up high, cut the motor, and basically did kind of a power dive, and then just circled around power off to see how long I could keep it at basically eye level before I had to power up and go around. I think I made 3 or 4 circuits of the field before I had to go up again.
Cool.
So
awesome. So Parkzone, bind and fly. assembly time? How does it come out of the box?
Out of the box, basically, all you have to do is attach the horizontal stabilizer, which has a carbon tube. You slide it on, hook up the elevator push rod, and then 4 pieces of tape, 2 on top, 2 on bottom, and that's done. The wing is just held on by this top plate here with 4 screws, and you're done. You literally plug in the 2 aileron servos into the Y harness, 4 bolts, you're ready to fly.
Hatch. Does it have a hatch on the top, bottom, or?
It's got a little push button hatch here, and the hatch just pops right off. You got a nice area here for a longer battery like an 1800 or a little smaller square battery. Like
and I see actually some of the reinforcements you guys did in the.
Exactly. Yep. There's carbon reinforcement on either side as well as the blade running the tail, and then there's also again another blade inside the tail between the 2 fuselage halves to really make it more rigid and be able to handle kind of the aggressive flying that I have fun doing with this airplane.
Being a sailplane and the 3S battery, what kind of flight time did you get out of it?
If you're flying it like a sport plane, kind of power on most of the time, not doing a lot of gliding, you're probably going to see about 8 to 10 minutes.
Okay.
But being a sailplane, the advantage of it is you can climb up to altitude, turn the motor off, and stay up basically as long as the thermals allow.
Thermals, yeah.
Absolutely.
Awesome. And when's it going to be available?
They're on the water now, so probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks, you should start seeing them on dealer shelves and be able to get it through Horizon Hobby. So yeah, it's on its way.
Awesome. So I'm going to check my feed here to see if we have any questions. So I see Stephen asked, did you guys straighten the tail? Which we already talked about.
Yep, we did. Like I said, we did reinforce the tail so it can handle a little bit more abuse when you're doing some of the hard flying.
And the same guy is asking, does it go back in the box once you assemble it?
Yes. The only downside would be to have to cut the tape to remove the stabilizer.
Okay.
But any clear packing tape or anything like that, just like the 1/2 inch or 1 inch strips would secure the tail back on. So keep a roll in your flight box, and you can break this down really small for transport.
Okay, and I have one more question that just came in. It says FPV ready. Can you put FPV equipment on it?
Absolutely. Probably on something like this, you'd probably want to mount the camera up here on the top. Kind of near the CG would allow you to get routing into the receiver very easily for power and everything like that. It is a little low, so you will get some prop view in the FPV camera, but it would be easily set up to do FPV with this airplane.
Now, some guys in RC groups were asking about replacement parts. If I have a previous Parkzone Conscendo, are the same parts or
pretty much?
Parts,
yeah, basically every single part on this airplane will fit on the old airplane and vice versa. So I've been reading the forums on the old Conscendo, and guys are kind of babying them, want to keep it around and don't want to hurt their plane. So they've been taking really good care of it. Now that they can at least get spare parts, they're like, oh, all right, I can fly that one harder, or maybe I'll get the new one and fly that one hard and keep my old Hobby Zone one around.
Awesome. So I don't think we have mentioned the price point yet.
Right, and that's a big one here. The Bind and Fly Basic is $149.
$149. Wow.
And the Plug and Play is $129. So really great
So
value.
I think the Hobby Zone, the RTF, because we used to have an RTF, was like I think when it started was $229.99.
$229 or $250. Yeah, it was up there a bit.
There's a lot of value in this airplane.
Absolutely.
And again, once those guys that don't want to run Spectrum or they don't use Spectrum, they can just buy the $129.99 plug and
plug and play. Absolutely. Or if they have receivers from airplanes they've had in the past that they have a stash of receivers for. Absolutely.
It's 4 channels, so pretty much any receiver.
Exactly.
Right. Awesome. All right, let me see if I have any questions here. All right, I think that's kind of pretty much covers, unless you have anything else to add.
The only thing I can add to this is, this airplane, like I said, it's a great flying airplane. It's simple, it's fun. It's, here at Horizon we get to kind of fly everything. We get to fly Hangar 9 airplanes, ultra micros, jets, warbirds, all this stuff.
Right.
I still have more fun flying this simple airplane, just going to the park, relaxing, and just enjoying flying. And that's I think what this airplane is really about. Again, it's got a wide flight envelope, so if you want to just cruise around, relax, have fun, easy. If you want to be a little bit more aggressive, do some aerobatics, it does that very well.
That's kind of what the branding is about with Parkzone. It's just get out of the box, takes less than an hour to put together,
Absolutely.
And you go to the park and fly.
Yep,
so
just fly.
What
Exactly.
The brand promise is. All right, I think that's pretty much covered. Thanks, guys, for watching. And if you have any questions, just let us know in this video. And once again, thank you and happy landings.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.